Mic check, 1 2 1 2. Mic check, 1 2. Mic check, 1 2 1 2. Mic check, 1 2. All right. What is the deal? What is the deal? My people, we are here. Let me see. I can't. There we go. I can see my. What's the deal, my people? You know it is Don Tony Teflon, and I'm back at you another one. And this one is Lovecraft Country, episode 1, season 1. Live review. We gonna chop it up on this whole situation right now. What's good to everybody? I haven't seen people in a little while. You know what I mean? I've been away for a little bit, but I'm back right now, and I'm back with a brand new series. Now I've been waiting for this series for a little bit, and I am happy that it has come out. And now we have just witnessed the first episode right now. The first episode, right? And after we have just witnessed the first episode, I would just have to say that, you know, when I look at what a first episode is supposed to be, it seems to me that this episode does check all the boxes. When you look at an opening episode, what is it supposed to do? It's supposed to establish the characters, right? It's supposed to tell you these characters' motivations, right? It's supposed to also lead you down a rabbit hole that you're going to solve out about these mysteries later. And when we look at this opening episode, I think it checks all those boxes 100%. But before we chop it up and get into this, if you will, please hit that thumbs up button so people can find us over here and we know that we do it. I know it's not the usual thing that I'm talking about, but this is what we're talking about now. I think the opening episode was a great episode. Please hit the thumbs up button so people can find us here. Let me go through the chat and let me say what up to my peoples out here representing for the Don Tony Teflon up in the building right now. Let's see what it is. Let's go back to the beginning and see what the people represent. We got my man Muhammad rocking with the Don Tony Teflon. Shannon T is in the building with me. Linda R rocking with me. Marie Jade Starkwalker is up in this building. Latanya Thomas, baby, is up in here rocking with me. Stephanie Spain, the Gypsy Queen. NYDA. Bryce Laureen. Edward, I butchered your name. I know I did. I'm sorry. Edward Martin. Joan Whitman. Venus Libra is in the building. Smoochie 3 is up in this piece, rocking with us. Let's see what else we got. My man Q is in the building, rocking with us. Quentin is in here. You know, Philly Jackson is over here chilling with us right now. We hope you got Ray seems to be up in the building. Never seen Ray before. What up to Ray up in here? And my man John Delavento, the creator of the music for the Tony Teflon TV. Royal Chief Architect is up in here. Joan Whitman, I said her name, but I'm saying it again. Val 287 here. Christy of Old Stones up in this building. And my lady, the lady LMR, is in here rocking with me. All right, as I said, hit that thumbs up button if you can. I want to know. Oh, Swag Fan 100, hello, new subscriber. Please, everybody, welcome Swag Fan up in this building, rocking with us right now, new subscriber. Truly appreciate that. Now, listen, when we talking about new shows, I should have somebody on with me. Now, I'm going to do this every week after every episode. And we also going to do the pre-show again before the episodes. We're going to go back to doing that too. So we're going to have those 2 live streams every Sunday. So you know where to find me. I'm going to have a bunch of people on here who like this show, enjoy to talk about this show. And we're going to get everybody up in here. Now, if you ask me, for an opening episode, I think that this could have been one of the greatest opening episodes I've ever seen on the television series. Now, I've been used to watching shows on Netflix recently. I've been used to watching shows on Amazon, you know, Hulu shows, Apple Plus shows, and it just shows you a different level of show when you watch this show. It's just a bigger level, a bigger budget, more production value. I mean, and when I watch this show, I truly could say that for a while there, you believe that you're watching a movie, not just a regular television show. It really was that good of an episode and that good of cinematography and that good of just camera work and everything else, and special effects. You know, you could truly see the difference between, like, let's say, I'm not trying to say bad things about Cursed or even The Witcher, but when you compare like the show, the money and the budget they got for this and the acting, we're gonna go into these actors in here. It just seems like everybody is top notch in here. Now, I do not know about. I am not a big Lovecraftian guy. All right. As always, the thug mug is in hand, baby. Right? So I'm not a huge Lovecraftian guy, so I can't really get too much. But I'm going to bring somebody on here who is, I know a little bit of it, into it like that. Joanne Whitman says that's Cthulhu in the first 2 minutes. Look, let's talk about the opening scene right off the bat when we see this opening. Now, it's not one of the greatest openings that we have ever seen in a TV show. I mean, you see the guys in the bucket out. When the way the war was set and seeing the battle he was fighting, it seemed like he was fighting, I would say, World War I with the trench warfare, it seemed like to me, that was going on there. And then all of a sudden, out of all this situation, you get all these aliens and everything wiping all this stuff out. And then you get Cthulhu at the just right there in the beginning, and then boom, snaps to reality, and he's back. You know what I mean? And he's over there sleeping. It was just amazing the way that they pulled that opening thing up, shot off, and it was really seamless. I thought it was was 100% great. I loved it. I truly did love it. You know what I mean? And I was still good about it. Chrissy also says the CGI was not the best, but it was still entertaining. I would have to say that I like the CGI, especially when you're seeing Cthulhu in the beginning. I thought Cthulhu was great. Now, if you're talking about the creatures with the eyeballs at the end, I will say that they look decent. They didn't look, like, special, but they look decent. We got my man LT Giles rocking with us from Facebook. Yes, we are live on Facebook, also on Teflon TV. I stream on Teflon TV on Facebook and also on YouTube. So if you cannot catch me on YouTube for whatever reason and you only have access to your Facebook account, you can always subscribe to Teflon TV. You know what I mean? Just hit the bell and you'll be notified every time I jump off and everything else like that. As John said, the music was great. The music was great. And I'm going to tell you real quick how I felt, why the music was great. All right, so obviously this is set with in the past, I would say the 50s, around that time during the show. So what they did was they brought in some modern rap music with the back in the days atmosphere to relate to you, to show you, because a lot of times in shows, when you show back in the days atmosphere, they play the older music. It's hard for you to relate because you hear that music and you're like, and you see people dancing and it's like, oh, how is this like towards us right now at our time? How can I relate to this? But it's hard to relate to it when you hear that older music. But when you hear the modern day rap music with the people dressed like that, then it can put you more into that spot. It puts you more into that time period. It makes you feel like, oh, I could be here. I could see myself being in this atmosphere. I could see myself living at this time. And I think by them doing that, that's what they accomplished. Also, it turned really fast. Oh, we got someone said the CGI I thought the CGI was decent too. You know what I mean? I thought the CGI was really not great, not exceptional. I mean, it's not Game of Thrones X Dragons level in the final season, but it's better than those White Walkers were in the first season. If I would have had a shadow of a doubt, much better than the White Walkers in the first season. So I thought, listen, you ain't gonna hear nothing bad. Only thing that makes me nervous about this episode, in all honesty, is that I think that the episode was too good. Like, it seems so good to me. It's really hard for me to. I don't know how they're gonna follow this stuff up because everything was perfect for them. We're gonna go through it. We're gonna go through this whole episode, and we're gonna break this down. We're gonna go through it place by place. All right, let's start with someone. 1 second. Who is this? Oh. 1 second. All right, and you know, John. So John, if you wanted, John, you know, my man, John, if you wanted to join me right now, you could join me if you wanted to, John Delavento, and everything else. All right, let's start right now. Get into this episode. All right, so the number one thing we do see about this episode is a time period that is taking place at, and that is basically the Jim Crow era. Right now, if people are not familiar, what up, Mod Mary? One, happy that you stopped by. If people are not familiar with the Jim Crow era or what the Jim Crow era is, you know, we have people from that's not from the United States or people that are younger and maybe you don't realize what exactly it was. So the Jim Crow era was basically a better laws, a bunch of laws that were put into place to segregate black people and white people, mostly in the Confederate states and everything. That's basically where it was at, you know. And this meant like you couldn't eat in the same dining room, you couldn't go to the same public places, you couldn't drink from the same water fountains, you couldn't drink from the sit in the same section of the bus, right? And I thought that they depicted this era very well. Like I thought that they did not sugarcoat it because back then it truly was a disgusting time the way that black people were treated, you know, and a lot of people had terrible feelings about black people and treated black people bad, as we see in the show, just because this is what was passed down from generation to generation, and this is how it goes when people pass down things like that, you know. So you see that with the opening bus scene. They have to put them in the back of the bus. You see them in the back of the bus, the white people in the front of the bus, and then the bus breaks down. When it does break down, the white people are the ones who get picked up by the pickup truck, but yet the black people that are in the back, they're not allowed to do that. Obviously, they're going to have to sit it out and walk after that, right? So they can carry all that back. That's just the opening scene of it to let you know exactly how people stand. I mean, one of the good scenes that they did was a diner scene, but even before the diner scene, when you see him eating the banana, and then you see the kid acting like he's an ape eating the banana. Now, I'm going to tell you that a lot of times, especially when I moved to a majority white neighborhood, when I moved to upstate New York and it was majority white, a lot of times when I would go to the supermarket and I would buy things, I would consciously always think that in my head, like, if I buy this, are people going to be laughing at me? Are people going to think, like, if I go out and I buy a watermelon and I'm out there, someone's going to say, look, they really do eat them. And I truly thought about that many times before I went shopping and purposely did not buy things because of that. So when I see stuff like that with him eating a banana and the guys doing those things, it truly brings back those memories for me and how real it is to this day inside of me. So you got to imagine how it was for people all the way back then. You know what I mean? When it was just basically like when you see the diner and they're sitting down there and basically they get ran out and these dudes are shooting at them in the street like it's the wild, wild west. And this is the way it was back then. Like, you could get away with doing things like that. You know, you could get away with just shooting at people and chasing people down, especially if they're black people, and lynching black people and everything else like that. You know, it was just, that's the way it was back then. You could do these things. So it was a very scary time to be black in America. So that's what that brought up to me, and that's what made me think about that. But before that, all right, we see the main character. He's come back for his father, and I like the way that they showed the depiction when they showed him arriving from down south, going towards Chicago, and how different it was in Chicago compared to down south. Now, it wasn't like it was great in Chicago for black people, but it was better. And you could see that when you see the kids playing in the fire hydrants outside, and they're getting ready for this big block party. And I like the way that they did that to show you the difference, you know, and that's just, you know, from state to state. And I tell people all the time, like, when you look at states, I look at these states, United States, as like little countries. You know what I mean? Like, each state is its own country to me. like the country of New York, the country of California, the country of Illinois. That's the way I look at all the United States. Even though we're states, it's all little countries. And back then, they truly were more like countries because all of them had their different rules. Chrissy of Old Stone says he could have been lynched just for throwing that banana peel at that white dude. And that is true. He has no doubt about it. Just for him doing that, throwing that one banana peel at that, he definitely could have been lynched and could have been killed just for that. You get lynched. I mean, Emmett Tills was killed. If people don't know who Emmett Tills is, you should look it up. But he's probably the reason why the civil rights movement took off and started. I know a lot of people want to credit Rosa Parks, but really the death of Emmett Tills is what it was. And someone who was supposedly whistled at flirted with a white woman, and they killed him, a little boy. And then the white lady, when she was in her 80s, like a couple of years ago, said that that never happened, that she made up that whole story and got that kid killed and all that. But now, Joy, how did we get to see the first 5 episodes? I keep seeing people that they've already seen them. So the people that I've known that have seen the first 5 episodes are people who got screeners for the episodes, like bigger YouTube channels who've gotten screeners for it and got them sent to them. Those are the only people that I know that have seen them and stuff like that, you know. So bigger YouTube channels and podcasts, they usually get sent stuff. They have the privilege of being sent things early. And that's why you'll see those channels come out with reviews before the ship even has debuted, right? And they'll come out there and have reviews about it, and it's not even out. And that's what it is, you know what I mean? So that's just the way it goes. For if you're big enough, you get that thing. The Don Tony Teflon ain't big enough like that. They ain't giving me nothing. I'm just gotta sit back and watch it like everyone, you know what I mean? And that's it. But that is what it is. But Double Toasted, all these other places that are big, they're gonna get screeners. They got people that they add request screeners, and that's what the way they get them and stuff, you know. So that is what usually happens. But yeah, I really thought that it was depicted well, the Jim Crow stuff that they put in there throughout the whole episode, you know what I mean? I thought that that was depicted well, of the whole of the way the Jim Crow South was, especially back back then and everything else. And I'll tell you though, when it comes to me, I know about it because my mother, my father, my family members, they all grew up during these things, and I've heard millions of stories about this my whole life of exactly how it was and everything else like that. So I know exactly how it truly, like I never lived out there, but from the stories, I can imagine how it was. And I think that when I look at this episode, that they depicted it very well. I thought they did a very good job on it. They did not sugarcoat it. They did not try to make it look like it was something that it wasn't. It made it look like exactly what it was. Let me get a drink, and we're going to take something. Cheryl says, Don, you are doing a great job teaching history as portrayed in the episode. I'm proud of you. Well, thank you very much. I try to be as accurate as I possibly can and spread the knowledge that I have, because I'm sure that other people, you just don't, if you don't experience, like there's a lot of things that, I'm sure a lot of people from a lot of different races, I can't speak on it, and I can't tell you how people felt because I don't know those stories, but other people can. So if I have some knowledge that I can share because of my experiences or because of the people in my family, then I can do that, and I have no problem doing that. I love the whole situation of this black cast right here. I think that this starring black cast, I think they did a tremendous job with casting all these people for these roles, and I think it really shines. And I like the way they show, the black life, the black experience that we see from going down in there. And I think that if you haven't seen these actors before, I mean Michael B. Vance, I think everyone has seen Michael B. Vance. Linda R., I can't wait to see it tonight. You haven't seen it, Linda? I don't know how you haven't seen it at all. John Dove says, producers are being conscious of these things now. Even the cars, clothes, fonts are all well done to the finest detail. You are correct. They have taken the time and the effort to make sure that they put out a very quality show. And that's exactly what we're getting here. We get a quality show from top to bottom when it comes to costumes, when it comes to all little minute details and everything else. And I'll tell you a detail that was in it that I liked was the little girl when she made those comic books. I made those exact same comic books the exact same way, fold the paper over. I used to do that when I was in second, third, fourth grade. Me, my friend Brian Kong, we used to do that all the time. And if you look up Brian Kong, you can Google his name. Brian Kong, it's my boy. He went to public school with me, elementary school and junior high school. We used to make them comic books together. He is a very famous comic book artist. I mean, he's done the Flash. He's worked for Marvel. He's worked for DC. He's worked for many of people. You can look him up, Brian Kung. But I used to draw comic books with him in the same exact style. Take the paper, fold it in the middle, and draw the boxes. We used to do that whole situation. So just seeing that, you know what I mean, was just great. You know what I mean? I just brought back memories for me and everything else. This show, with this cast that I've seen so far, it truly was just done great. All right, we're gonna keep going into so we go from that, and I think another thing that we could touch on here, besides the racism that we've seen, is the green book, the Negro's Guide to Traveling, that they show in here. And this is, so we know that Tick is looking for his father. That's what he comes back to do, to find his father. His chick, she not his chick yet, but most likely she'll become his chick. She ain't got nowhere to go, so she tries to go to her brother because she didn't go to her mother's funeral, so her family is shunning her right now. So she tries to go, so she's rolling with him, and the uncle wants to go because he is the one who makes these books, right? Now, these green books were a real thing. This really happened. They really needed these things. Black people needed these green books to travel throughout the United States and stay safe. That's how dangerous it was just for being black in the United States at that era. That you had to have a specific book to tell you, no Ku Klux Klan here, you're safe to go here. This is a restaurant that allows black people to eat in there. You're safe and you can go get some food here. Here's a gas station that you can go and pump gas for your car. You'll be safe here. Avoid this area over here. Avoid this area over here. Avoid this area over here, right? That's what it was back then for black people. You could not just travel freely where you wanted to go. You had to have a book, a specific book that black people made for each other to keep each other safe. And I thought that them using that as a catalyst for them to go out where they're going, it was a brilliant idea. It's a very bold move to do that, because a lot of times when you deal with these shows and you deal with these situations, people don't want to talk about them because it makes people uncomfortable to talk about. And I can understand why people would be uncomfortable talking about these things, especially, if your ancestors have done wrong and it's embarrassing, right? And it's embarrassing to you that because you're not like that, and it's embarrassing. But a lot of times you have to do that. You have to talk about these things, and you must be conscious of things that did happen. Because if you're not conscious of things that did happen, that's how these things repeat itself. So you don't want things to repeat. This is how they don't repeat. You understand what happened. You've seen exactly what happened. And then after that, you move forward and you make sure it doesn't happen again. We got Bridge 4 is in the building. The great Bridge 4. Big YouTuber, huge YouTube star, Bridge 4. He says, "Holy moly. I just steamed out loud." I think he meant, I don't know, steam. I think he meant scream out loud for the first time in a while watching the show when that thing jumped on screen. I got a few minutes left. This is spectacular. I really got to agree with Bridge. I truly think that this show has the potential to be the next big hit show. From that opening episode that I've seen, I'm telling you, that's probably, and I said it earlier and I'll say it again, the best opening episode I've seen on the show ever. It really checks all the boxes. We got over 60 people here watching. hopefully all y'all, if y'all have not seen Lovecraft Country and you know you're looking for something to watch, definitely do it. I mean, this is a reason alone to get HBO Max. I think it's on regular HBO too. You know what I mean? But I really think it is. Oh, let's go. She says Santavia Major says the Green Boom, the Chitlin Circuit. These were all real. Yes, the Chitlin Circuit, the Green Boom, all these things were real. I mean, I know it's you know, when we look at where we are, all right, in society, and though we see things happen here, especially with police officers, right, and we see what's happening back then, and we know that these problems still exist today, right? Those battles that they were fighting back then, still going on today. All right, the difference now is that we have cameras and we can catch these things on. And when it went down, you know what I mean? There's no cameras back then to catch things going down like that. No videotaping of stuff to catch things going down. Now we can catch these things. You know what I mean? I agree. He says Watchmen is pretty hard first episode to be. I'm going to say this is better than the Watchmen first episode, in my opinion, Chrissy. I mean, you could say what you want, and I understand why you would think it. I thought it was a really good episode, Watchmen, but I just think that this when it comes down like Watchmen, I don't want to diss Watchmen. I don't want people to think I'm hating on these shows. I would just say that when you look at what a first episode is supposed to do, I think that this episode did it better than Watchmen did it. You know what I mean? I feel like it explains everything to me about these characters. I know all their motivations of what they strive to do, and I have the intrigue. It leaves me with the intrigue of what's going to happen. You know, when you see them at the end, right, when they're getting chased by the cop, by the redneck dudes from the bar, and then this silver car just comes out of nowhere and makes them crash, and then this white lady gets out. Now I have to assume that white lady is related to this white man that we see at the end. I gotta assume that. That's what I'm assuming. I think that's what's going on there, and that's how that whole thing ties together. You know, but I just think that this show that we see in this opening episode did a much better job than any other show that I see of explaining all these characters' motivations, setting you up for the next episode, making you, leaving you with enough intrigue to want to watch the next episode, and giving you, it was a good amount of drama, good amount of action. It wasn't too action-packed, wasn't over action-packed. The action was good, you know what I mean? And I just think that, when you see the final battle, when the cops take them into the woods, and they lay him on the floor in there, and the cop is there, and he's making them say stuff and say, "Oh, you're a smart black man, aren't you?" Yada yada yada, this that, and then they come out there and they put them in the woods, and they lay them on their stomach. You got hints, you know what I mean, and little small hints from the things he was reading about Lovecraft and everything else, and him always bringing up this Lovecraft territory, this, that, and everything else, and all that. You got hints, and then he brings up these exact monsters with all the eyeballs and everything else when he goes out there. That something like this could happen, but they didn't give it away. So they didn't give it all the way until that actual scene happened. And when you see those cops, listen, get ripped apart. I mean, I'll say, look, he left his uncle out there. That was one thing that I thought was funny. That's realistic. Listen, it's rough for your life in that situation, right? Your uncle got bad knees. He had 2 knee surgeries, got 2 shattered kneecaps. He said run. He didn't even care about his uncle. He just bounced. He just got up and he just took off. And that's just really, because listen, in a show, you know what I mean? When you do that, you do the in the show you say, "Oh, I'm going to grab my uncle and carry him." Listen, when you get in a situation like that where there's creatures jumping out there biting people in half, he's gonna be mad for himself at that point, right? Right? that's realistic. What's gonna happen, right? And then when you get back somewhere you safe, then you're gonna think about other people. But at that particular time, you gone, right? And that was it. And Shorty, let me tell you about Shorty. Shorty could run. Shorty can book. Not only could she run, she looked good running on camera, which people may say, oh, that's not an easy thing to do, to look good running on camera. That's hard. I mean, Ezra Miller, who plays the Flash, looks terrible running. Looks terrible. One of the worst things I've ever seen in my life is that dude running. Look, this looks terrible. But she was out. She was out. And this the acting when she said, when she was like, I'm scared, blah, 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 and everything else. It was all perfectly done. The lines were just perfectly said, perfectly delivered. It truly, truly was a great opening episode. And if people don't think so, that's on you. I'm sorry about that. I don't want to get y'all. I know I'll get y'all started if I start doing that. Straight up, listen. Y'all know Philly Jackson. That's the real black person thought process. You already know. You already know, because you get a situation like that, son. You act like you sit there and the Jakes come and you with your peoples and the Jakes come. Y'all ain't trying to say I got to go, son. If you get bagged up, I'm sorry, but I can't get bagged. And that's basically what it was. It was just, I gotta go, son. I'm up out of here. You know what I mean? Man, this T, thank you for the super chat, brother. And it says, I got you on mute, Tony, but want to show love watching as we speak. That is what it is, man. I feel you, man. Keep watching, man. You're in for a treat, man. You are in for a straight treat. And again, it gets me to the point where it scares me, where I start to get nervous. When I see an opening episode that good, it scares me, because now it's got to live up to, can the next episodes deliver? Can it keep delivering on? Can it keep? That's not easy to do. It truly isn't. And that's what it needs to do. So now I'm nervous. I mean, I got faith in Jordan Peele. I got faith in them, faith that they're going to put something out there and put something great out there. But it does scare me. It does make me a little bit nervous. Like, hey, are they going to be able to maintain this level going forward? Which the actors, I know they can maintain their acting ability, but can the scripts keep banging them out like they did it like this? Because if I got episodes like this throughout this whole season, this would be a perfect 10 season all the way. Because I'm going to rate this episode a 10 out of a 10. This gets a perfect score for me. I can't. Nothing I would say that I could say that was bad in this. You know what I mean? I have to say that this is definitely a perfect 10 episode without a shadow of a doubt. I truly like this episode. But anybody in the comment section before I go on to the next part, have any questions or want to say anything about this episode, please say it right now, and I can highlight your comment and everything else. And let's see, Edward Martin says it's gonna get more twisted, I believe. Yeah, I think so. We haven't even scratched the surface of it yet, right? And I'm saying, you gotta look at. Oh, we got a super chat right here from Bridge 4. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Super stick up in the building. It is in the first episode. We got Cthulhu in the first episode, and we got more creatures in there. All right, we got more creatures in there. At the end, first episode, they gave us all that. Usually, you would not get anything like that. It's hard to get something like that. Usually, you would not get anything like that, and they really gave us that. You know what I mean? So, I just think that they did a tremendous job doing that. I can't see them. It's hard for me to see how to go. Santavius says, I had to cover my eyes, right? Listen, when it did a great transition to horror, right? And it was a quick transition from a regular drama to a horror show. And I thought that they did a great transition to that. And this T says, I like to say one thing, the lady is fine. I remember her as a kid. Yeah, listen, she's definitely hot chick up in there, man. I was no doubt about it. I'm not gonna. I ain't trying to hate on this good looking girl up in there with some pipes on her, baby. She was singing that song. She was singing that juke there. What is it? Bridge Forcer's Tone sees comments on Streamlabs, so he doesn't get to see the hype hippo. No, I didn't see the hippo. I'm sorry. I didn't get a chance to see the hippo. I'm sorry. I only see the comments on StreamYard, so I can't see anything like that. I just see when I go back. I will see. John Delvender says, quick transition for sure. LOL out of nowhere. Yeah, it truly, when you look at it, it's like a straight drama, and it goes right from that to like horror. This straight horror show. Just like this. It's like they flip the switch and all of a sudden we're watching a horror movie, and out of nowhere, I mean, you start picking up and you start seeing, the racial content things and the cops. You start thinking that something's gonna happen, but you don't think it's gonna go down like that where you're, they're in a cabin fighting for their lives and just sitting back there and the guys are getting bit in half and his arms chopped off and everything else. You don't see that jumping off, not that quick. You would think that, in the first episode, you might get a hint of something. And then later on, another episode, you get something. But they gave it to you right off the bat in the first episode. Like, booyaka. This is what this is about. This is a horror show. Get used to it, because this is what you're going to see. Did anyone else clap when the episode ended? I when the episode ended, I was trying to find it, wait for the trail. I was like, oh my God. It was just great. This is one of those shows that you can truly go out there and it makes you anticipate next Sunday. And that was the whole thing. When you look at shows like Game of Thrones or The Sopranos or The Wire, it just so happened that these are all HBO shows, or Breaking Bad, Westworld, things like this. It became like, even Walking Dead when it first came out, like it became an event, like the Super Bowl every week. You know what I mean? And there hasn't truly been a show out there that's an event like that since Game of Thrones has ended. And this is the first time I'm watching a show since Game of Thrones has ended to make me feel like this is an event. Every Sunday at 9 o'clock, I want to get my popcorn. I want to get some snacks. I want to turn the TV on, put the surround sound system on, turn the lights off, and just get ready and to get to there to watch this show. That's what this show is to me. That's what this show feels like to me. So it's just a very good show. It's just one of the best shows that I've seen. I can't even. I don't even know. It's one of the best shows I've seen. In a very long time. Lamar says, I agree, Kev. I can't express enough how much I liked it. Truly is a great show. John Delavento says, totally agree with that feeling, Teflon TV. Yeah, it's just you don't feel like it's it's hard to feel that way about other shows. They just don't give you that. Like, when I watch like The Witcher and I watch like Cursed, I was happy to watch it, but you could see the flaws that were in the show, whether it was acting or whether it was CGIs or whether it was just the writing or whatever it was. It's the budget. They look like Netflix shows. Like, when you're watching this show, you say, oh, I'm just watching a Netflix show. When you watch this show, this is high quality HBO quality level shows that you're watching, and it's just such a difference. And I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's HBO's just giving up more money. I don't know what they're doing, HBO, to pull off all these shows and why these shows look so good on their on their channel compared, and they just come up so much better than these other streaming services. I don't know what it is, but someone better hire the person from HBO and move them over somewhere else, because I would get that person over there and get them working for me, because it is just amazing how they're able to crank out hit show after hit show after hit show, year after year after year. Even when you go back, all the way back to their beginnings when they first started, everything, it's always that good, always been that good for them. Bridgeforth says HBO is truly a premium channel. Yeah, and that's what it is, Bridge. They're premium. It sets you apart. Like, I don't, like when you watch these other shows, I don't really want to knock these shows. I'm talking about another show, and I don't want to knock them, but I'm really just trying to say, how great this show is. And the only way I can really say it is to compare it to other things. Like when you watch these other shows and these other networks, as opposed to be the quality level, it's just not there for whatever reason. I don't know why. They just don't get that feeling. You know what I mean? HBO, when you watch The Sopranos for the first time, you knew you were watching something truly special. When you watch The Wire, when you watch, oh my God, now I can't think, Deadwood. When you watch, Westworld, when you watch, you can go through Sex and the City. When you watch Sex and the City, you weren't watching this a regular sitcom. You knew it was something special. Like when I started watching, HBO, it ruined me for network TV. I couldn't watch network TV anymore. I used to watch Law and Order all the time, and then Sopranos came out, and I was like, I can't go back to Law and Order after watching The Sopranos. How could I go back to that? Because that was just truly like movie quality stuff, and that's what HBO is. Glad to see you. What is that? Streaming Tony's with a Y, not an I. But I appreciate the comment, brother. I appreciate that. What I had that. Tantavia says HBO's production quality, the musical score, the costume, yeah, people just can't match it. I don't know why. You would think that people could. I mean, Showtime comes close, but no one really gets it right there. No one gets it as good as HBO gets it. And I don't know what it is, you know what I mean? And that's just what it is. All right, let me go back to talking about the show, because I think I got some. I think I may have ran through all the big important parts already. No, let me do this. Yeah, real quick. No, I did take that. So, I think I touched on almost everything. Oh my God, Rich, for oh my God, it's going to be 10 episodes. Finally, a show with 10 episodes. Yep. Man, sorry for missing, but no, it's all good, man. It's all good. It's all good. I was just teasing with you, just messing with you, homie. It's messing with you. It is what it is. Yeah, 10 episodes, man. We're getting 10 episodes, and I think they're gonna be great. I'm just dumb. I'm dumbfounded. It's hard for me to talk about this episode by myself, because I'm just so dumbfounded by it. It's just hard for me to express everything I want to express. John Del Vento says, I think HBO spends a lot. It's moved up as soon as I started. Spends a lot top down, not just bottom up, meaning they still appreciate the value of expensive director, not just actors. Yeah, I agree that they put more effort into the smaller things that maybe that these other streaming services are not putting them into. I think that maybe they think, hey, we get this actor, we don't need a top-notch director. But when you look, and you see how much different it is, because when you look at Game of Thrones and you're seeing like Miguel Sapochnik in the episodes he directed, how great those battle scenes were compared to other ones. Now, some people just have a knack to direct certain type of scenes, certain type of episodes, and they found that this guy was very good at doing that, and they used him over and over for that, for all the big battle scenes, because he just has that knack. It seemed like this director, whoever this guy is, he has a knack for doing horror genre. He brought that in there very well. You did not see that coming. I don't know who could say that they've seen that just coming out there like that. 'Cause I did not see that coming whatsoever. When it came, it was just great. Muhammad, I love Rome. Yeah, I love Rome too. Rome is probably is one of my favorite shows of all time, without a doubt. He said HBO's been hot. Yeah, Rome is just amazing. Rome is just amazing. It truly is. It truly is. Truly is. From top to bottom. And the only thing that was wrong with Rome was that it was just too short because the budget was so big in it. They HBO wasn't trying to spend that much money on it, so they had to only do 2 seasons. But it was supposed to go for 5 seasons, what the guy said. But they compressed that into two seasons and stuff. So that's the only thing that made it great. All right, reviews from Beyond says great gore. Yeah, you listen. Reviews from Beyond. I'm with you on that. When you seen this goddamn monster just bite him, and you just see this blood just soaking this dude, because it's just weird. I would say weird, but how they just went from everything was just regular. You see him out there, he's cleaning himself with his shirt off. He got to take a shower outside, whatever he was trying to do, freshen himself up out there. Girls over there taking pictures of his back and everything else, you know what I mean? And you see him out there, everything just seems regular. You know what I mean? And then all of a sudden, in one scene, this blood is splattered all over these people. And it just goes so fast to that. You know what I mean? It just goes really fast to that. But it did a great job at it. It's a great job at it. Let's see what else I can say about this show real quick. I think I got into the starring black cast. I think that I just like. I don't think I can. Everyone that I seen on this cast did a great job. I don't know what I could truly say more about this show than you need to go watch it. You know what I mean? If you haven't seen it, I don't know what you're waiting for. You truly need to go watch this show. I will watch it again right now. That's how hyped I am for this show. I truly could go watch this show again right now. And I have not felt that way in a long time. Even with the final seasons of Game of Thrones, I wasn't trying to rewatch any of the episodes in the final seasons that were leading up. But this right here has sparked something in me that just makes me want to go back and watch it again and everything else. I can't wait to see what happens. Hopefully there's a trailer for the next episode. If there is a trailer, obviously I'm going to do a trailer breakdown of that. I'm going to have that out. I'm going to do some history and lore about Lovecraftian monsters, Cthulhu, and everything else. I'm going to have a 8-minute review. I'm going to drop that, you know what I mean? So people, but also know I'm always going to come on here right after it's over. I'm going to watch do this post game show with you. We're gonna chop it up. I'm gonna do the pre-game show with you. We're gonna run that. I think that LMR will be on with me next week, so we'll have LMR in here and we'll have her comments. We're going to talk to Phil, the issues guy. We see we get something going with Phil if he's into the show, and I got Bridge 4 is into the show. We're gonna do something with him. We're gonna bring John Delavento on. We're gonna do something with him. We're gonna bring these people on there because everything I think about the show, I think we got the next big character. I think a lot of people always saying, "Hey, what's the next Game of Thrones? What's the next big show?" There'll never be another Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones is Game of Thrones, but this to me could be the next big show if it all becomes from what I've seen and it stays like this. I don't see how it can't be. I really don't see how it can't be. It's just an amazing show. I cannot say that enough. I think I've touched on everything in this show. I don't think I've left anything out. Ugh. I will touch on that, AK. Yes, no. And I like the way they did this. So we know the people who know anything about Lovecraft, and they do know in Lovecraft, um, they would say that he was very racist. All right, let's not say that he's not. We know he is, and the fact that they addressed it in the show was amazing. You know, usually they would not address things like that in the show, but to address, and I think that is a dilemma that a lot of black people have to deal with, right? When you look at things like Tom and Jerry, right, and any cartoons made by Tex Avery, right, he made racist cartoons all the time. When you look at Tom and Jerry or anything that he made, you could see it, and a lot of that's edited out. A lot of these cartoons for kids, they edited out a lot of the racist stuff to make them more palatable, make them more for black people. But you know, when I'm a kid, you know, like the Dukes of Hazzard, you know, I loved the Dukes of Hazzard when I was young. You know, me and my friend Chris Laird, both two black kids, we used to call ourselves Bo and Luke Duke, right? I loved it. But then when I got older and I started looking at it, and then I understand what a good old boy is, and I know what the Confederate flag is, then I start asking myself, was it right for me to like these things? And I think that black people go through this dilemma all the time, just like he's going through with the Lovecraft things. Yes, this guy is a known racist and held racist views, but he liked his material. He liked the stuff he was talking about. So it's hard. You set aside the person for his work. Could you not worry about what that person was in his personal life and just enjoy this person's work? That also happened to me when dealing with Seinfeld. You know, I love Seinfeld. Seinfeld was one of my favorite shows. But after Michael Richardson, the actor who played Cosmo Kramer, went on stage and went into this big racist rant on his comedy show, it was hard for me to watch Seinfeld episodes and look at that guy. It truly was. It was and then I felt bad doing it. Like I felt like why should I be watching this? And this guy truly feels this way. All right, so I think that that's a thing, especially because obviously black people, especially at that time, didn't have a lot of things of their own put out. So you're going to be drawn to things that other people are going to write. And I think a lot of black people have experienced that and go through that even to this day and everything else. You know what I mean? Because of these things. So it comes down to, can you like Lovecraft stuff without liking him as a man? And is it worth liking his stuff? Because even though he had these feelings in his personal life, can you still enjoy the stuff that he wrote, even though he may not have wanted you to like it? And yes, he probably is rolling over in his grave, seeing all this black cast over here that's tearing his books, tearing this stuff down and making this stuff great. You know what I mean? And, you know, when you see things like that, that's funny how the world works sometimes, you know. He probably would have never thought ever in his life that this would happen and revise his stuff and bring his stuff to a whole new generation, that it would be a black person and black cast doing this for him, that's bringing everything out there. You know what I mean? But that's the way the world works sometimes, you know, and I think that's exactly what happened here. So, John Haymaker says H.P. Lovecraft inspired George R. R. Martin and Stephen King. I'm sure he did, you know. I'm sure he inspired a lot of people, but it's still different for a white man to inspire white guys who he has no ill will against, and then to inspire black people who he hated black people. Basically, he was a very racist man. And so it's just something that I think that a lot of black people go through. Even with Game of Thrones and George R. R. Martin, a lot of black people go through that, you know. So no, I thought I'm going to give this a perfect 10. Fernandez T just says HBO just made our Sundays better. Indeed, Sundays are back. Sundays at 9 o'clock are back. It's been going for a long time, Sundays at 9, but for at least 9 more weeks, we got Sundays at 9 ready to go, you know, and that is what's up. And I'm truly, truly, truly Just great for that. See, this show was out of nowhere. It just did. It just came. I heard about it and I had high expectations. You know what I mean? But it was just done very well. You know what I mean? Michelle RD speaker. I'll speak on it. I ain't afraid to speak on them. Anyone, you know, like, I ain't trying to offend nobody or anything. And if you are offended by things I'm saying, then you have to check yourself and look in the mirror at yourself and say, why do these things offend you? Because it shouldn't offend you. You know what I mean? It should not offend you. It's just facts. And that's just the bottom line. Facts is facts. And we just talking facts here, man. And that's just what's going on. And we got no choice but to put out the truth. And they addressed, you know, Lovecraft's racism in the show. You know, which is something you never would see anything else like that. You would never see other people say, you know, address certain things like that. They always sugarcoat things about other people and stuff like that. You know, especially like look at Ty Cobb. You know, people never talk about how racist Ty Cobb was. They talk about how great baseball player was, but one of the most racist people of his era out there. You know what I mean? So it's the fact that they were, you know, and I think that Jordan Peele, when you have a black guy writing, you know, being involved with stuff that's predominantly black, that's when you get things like that. That's when you get, you know, good things like that. Not good things, but that's when you get the real deal stuff out there. You know what I mean? When you get someone like who's a showrunner of color, and you got all actors of color in it, that's when you could put the real stuff out there. You know, it's just like when you get, you know, when you got Steven Spielberg and he's doing Schindler's List, when you have a Jewish person who's gonna put it out there the way the Jewish people seen it. He's gonna put it out there so you could see it through the Jewish person's eyes. It takes a Jewish person to put that out there for that's what it is. Definitely reminded me of Watchmen. I don't know. I can't compare it to Watchmen. I mean, if you're saying quality, you know what I mean? If you're saying the quality of it is Watchmen quality, then yes. I mean, look, Watchmen, you got Regina King, man. When you have an actress, when you have these actresses of these great importance up there, you know what I mean? Then it's just that's when it is. That's when your quality goes up. You know, when you have an Oscar-winning actress and the lead actor in this is just a phenomenal actor. You know what I mean? He's just a great actor and everything else. So it's just, you know, when you have that level of actor in the show, the quality automatically elevates everything else and stuff like that. This Bloodlust. I don't know this Bloodlust. He keeps bringing up some Grace Randolph. I don't know nothing about no Grace Randolph. I know who she is, but I don't know nothing about her. And I would just say that I'm not looking at her to review, you know, a show of black people. I don't know who she is that you know that she could really critique that like that. I'm looking at it a different way. So I really don't care what anybody had to say. I don't know what she said, but I don't care. I don't care what other people have to say. I'm just talking about what I have to say. And this is the way I feel about it. So it is what it is, man. And that's what I'm saying. As a black man watching this show, felt very proud to watch this show with all these beautiful black actors and actresses up there doing their thing. Jordan Peele doing a thing when given a chance to be able to put out quality content just like that. That's what makes me proud to see things like that. And I'm just happy to see it. Mary says, just finished the episode. Wow. I got to go with that. You know what I mean? Got to go with that. You know, wow is a great thing to say. Cause that's what it's hard for me to speak about this, man. I really would like to talk more about it. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? I would truly would like to talk more about this episode because I have so much inside, you know what I mean, and to say, but it's hard for me to put it out in words. You know what I mean? It's hard for me just to put these things out there in words and just say everything that I need to say. That's why I need somebody to be out here with me to reel me in and direct me on certain things. So next week we definitely going to have some people on here, so that way that could happen, so I don't get tongue tied and everything else and all that, because I don't want to keep like reiterating myself over and over again. All I can say is that this is a 10 out of 10 episode for me, man. This episode was amazing. This truly was a great episode, and I just I can't wait. Nancy, I can't wait to watch it again. I said, listen, I'll watch it right now. I'm telling you, I was gonna go watch that Jamie Foxx movie that came out on Netflix, but I'm truly like wanting to watch this episode again and see the things that I missed and see if I can pick up on other things and stuff like that. I really want to just do that. You know what I mean? That is what it is. LMR, we love listening to your take on it. Well, I thank you so much, LMR. That means a lot for me. You know what I mean? It means a lot to me to hear that from you. Let's see. I love Cthulhu. Finally, listen. Cthulhu got batted down by Jackie Robinson. Jackie Robinson came in this car. To club to him. He just put the club right to him. Straight up, it truly what Maud Mary says. The great cinematography, the sets, well written, supernatural effects. It truly is. All that Maud Mary, you're correct, was all good. It was all good. You know what I mean? Everything there was just great. Jackie Robinson, I got you, kid. I got you, kid. Don't worry about it. He put it right to him. Put the bat right to him. Oh no! It's everything about that show was good. It really was. Alicia, you ain't watched the episode yet? I'm sorry for spoiling stuff for you here. Carla Wage in the building. In the building. Sorry we spoiling things here before you and everything else. You know what I mean? But I can't wait for you to watch it. I can't wait for you to watch it. I've truly had things good about fantasy. This is perfect fantasy. You're saying right. It went from Green Book to Resident Evil. It did. And it just went there so fast. You know what I mean? It went there so fast. It just went there. It was just, everything was just this, and then out of nowhere, out of nowhere, because you're like, oh, we got to get to he's trying to get past the bridge, kind of like the headless horseman. You know what I mean? Once you cross that bridge, my friend, the ghost is through, his power ends, and he's just trying to get there. You know what I mean? He's trying to get there and get there and get there. And then he does get there, and they celebrate as soon as they say, I knew that there was going to be, I knew it. I knew it was going to be a roadblock on the other side for these police. I knew that there's going to be something like that jumped off. I knew it. I was like, these dudes ain't just getting out just like that. There's something else going on. What else going on here? Oh yeah, no, I'm telling you, AK, you need to watch this show. This show is what it's at. There's nothing I can say about it. I would, if anyone knows me, anyone's been on the channel, y'all don't know me. First time coming to Teflon TV, you know what I mean? You never been here before. I'm not one to sugarcoat nothing. I will tell you the truth about anything. I don't just say stuff because I like stuff and everything else. I say stuff because it's the truth. And when I'm telling you this opening episode was amazing, that means it was amazing. Top to bottom, amazing. Everything about it. I wouldn't say that to you if that wasn't the case. You know what I mean? I would not say it. If it was different and there was a different take on it, wasn't that good or just okay, I would say, hey, this is an okay episode. This episode was truly amazing. It met all my expectations. It did everything an opening episode supposed to do. and more. And I can't wait to see the next episode. Like I don't even know what's gonna happen. They walking up in this house, like with blood all over their clothes. They got blood all over their clothes. Peace out, Swag Fan 100. Peace out, bro. They got all over their clothes. They walk around blood like. What else can you do? I mean, you gotta walk around with blood on your clothes in that situation. But they just walking up like, and all of a sudden there's this house just out there. Really? Look at your house. He's like, welcome home. Yeah, welcome home. Me, welcome home. I ain't never been here before. He's saying welcome home. White dude saying welcome home back in that time. But with the blonde hair, you know he rolling with that chick. They know that about that. I think the car was parked up. Was the car parked up in there? And the car might have been parked up in there. But he definitely rolling with that chick. He definitely doing that. And that's what it is. All right. You know what I mean? So let's. You got any questions? We'll do 10 minutes of questions real quick, and then the Don is off the stream. All right. And I'll be back next week for the pregame show. We'll do that an hour before it starts, and then we're going to roll an hour after it ends. We're going to do them both. And that's what it is. Yeah, Bridge Force, the car was there. Yeah, I thought the car was there. They ain't show that many blind people, so they had to be together. So anybody, yeah. Ed Martin says, wonder what the inheritance is. The inheritance got to do with some type of, maybe it's that house. I don't know. I mean, listen, obviously there's something going on here. I don't know. Maybe it's that house. I have no idea. Bridgeport says, is it confirmed that the dude in the first scene was his dad and that the alien presumed was his mom? I don't know if it's confirmed that that's the case, but I will say that I did have that feeling when I watched it. His dad is the guy who played Omar that they seen in the picture. I know that's the guy playing it without a doubt. You know what I mean? So, but I had that suspicions too that was what it was too. So I think if you had it, I had it. That's most likely what it was. John Haymaker says, have you seen the Raised by Wolves trailer? I have seen the Raised by Wolves trailer. I think I could not tell what was going on. And see, this is the problem with certain things. You know what I mean? Like the Raised by Wolves trailer, it was hard for me to tell what was exactly going on in the thing. You know what I mean? It was hard for me to get that to fully understand. I mean, I got the concept of it of the robot raising the kids, but it was too much all over the place for me. So I can't say that it was a really good trailer. I'll just say that I'll watch it when it comes out, and we'll take it from there. Fire TV doesn't support HBO Max yet. No, Fire TV doesn't support HBO Max, and neither does Roku devices. I think the only streaming service you can get it on right now would be Apple TV, is the one that supports it. But you could also watch it on your computer and then beam it from your computer to your television set until that goes down. So that's what I would do, Linda. All right, in there, but Roku doesn't have it, or Amazon Stick. Only one that has it is Apple TV. Why HBO Max with it's got to do with a percentage of the deal, I think, and everything else. Oh, there it is. There it is. You gotta do a little tinkering, Linda. Hit bridge 4 up. Or I'm sure somebody on YouTube has that all locked down exactly how you can definitely get that on your Fire Stick. You can get anything on that Fire Stick when it's all said and done. You get anything you want on that Fire Stick when it's all said and done. If you know the right person, you can watch anything you want on there. Anything. Pay-per-views, whatever you want. Whatever you want. But you could also get it if you have Hulu. Hulu offers HBO Max directly from them. So you can subscribe to Hulu and pay a little bit more money and get HBO Max through Hulu if you wanted to. So if that was a choice, if you wanted to work your way, you could work it right through Hulu. And then even if you don't have the HBO Max app, you can go through it through the Hulu app and then access the HBO Max stuff through the Hulu app. And then you can watch it from there too. So Hulu is also another option for you. I didn't know Cody still existed. I don't know. Mindy Martin says, so are we loving the show? All right, let me ask the people right here. Let me get your rating before we go off here. Everybody in the chat, what was this rating? Scale of 1 to 10. 10 being a perfect episode. 1 being cocky, the stuff that comes out the booty hole. What do you rate this episode? What is the rating that you guys in the chat give this episode? Bridge 4, 11 out of 10. I could see that all day. Cracking Tacos, 10. Mindy Martin, I'm watching it later. I was too busy, but I'm free now, so yippee. I can't wait for you to watch it, Mindy. Definitely hit me back. Let me know what you think. Mod Mary, 9. Reviews Beyond, 9.5. Chrissy of Old Stones, 9.5. Fernandez T gives it an 8. Santavia Major gives it a 10. So we got a couple of, 8, really? I mean, listen, that's good. I think it's good that when you can give something an 8 because there's always room for it to grow. Always room for it to grow. So Minnie Martin, I hope you come in the comment section. Let me know exactly how you feel about it when you watch it. If you don't want to come on this, I'll have a smaller review, 10-minute review I'll be dropping probably in a little bit. So you can put it on that one if you want. Anybody else want to rate this show, or what they feel like with this a scale of 1 to 10? Minnie Martin will do. Thank you very much. I truly appreciate it. Quentin is in the building. He's saying Black Power 10, baby. And that's what I'm feeling on that right there, baby. Black Power. I'm saying it. I'm telling you, for Black people, this is it's really good to see a show, you know what I mean, that is just, ran by Black people with Black actors that is so great. It really that doesn't happen all the time. And I know, like, for white people, I love white people. I love you all. You know what I mean? I love all my white people. Yeah, and I know that it may seem real weird for that, but a lot of people, it's not the same. It's just not the same. We don't have that. Like, every show is always with white people who run the show and act in the show and everything else. And so Black people, we get a show like this. It doesn't happen all the time. So it's just truly a great thing to see. It truly makes me proud to see it. You know what I mean? And everything else like that. Listen, Mod Mary's right. Black sci-fi matters. It sure does. Because you have to have everybody's outlet on it. It's just great and everything. And see, he's up to 2-9. Bridge 4. Bridge 4. I'd rather be threatening. I'm threatening my friend Bridge. But he got him up there. But it truly is. It truly matters. Michelle RD got a 10 out of 10 right there. I'm giving it a 10. I'm usually not that great. I usually give, don't do that, but I got to give it a 10. It truly was a great opening episode and everything else. And I just think that it's going to be good, and as I said, like, the one thing I had a problem with, I'll say, about that Charmed, it was not Charmed, what is that thing what is that show on Netflix? Whatever that show on Netflix was, I don't know what it was called. I forgot now. But that one with the King Arthur, and they made King Arthur black in it. And the one problem I said I had with it was that they tried to cast him as a black man, but they casted a black man in that role that didn't have any black features, right? You see in this show, the main guy, he's a black man, he's casted in the role, and he's got black features. You know what I mean? And that means a lot. It means a lot. He looks just like my friend Ox. He look, not Ox doesn't have muscles like that. He ain't big like that, but he looked just like my man. I see his face, all I think of Cursed. You're correct. Cursed, that goddamn show. You're right. He looks just like my brother Ox, man. You know, every time I see him, like Ox is on TV right now. He look, but I just love seeing black. You know, don't black people are who they're supposed to be. You know, show them for all their glory. Don't show a black man that has white features. Show a black man that looks like a black man. You know, that's what I'm saying. Bridge says, how do we see comic book girl coming into the fold? She's going on the next guide, right? Or something, right? Wait. Comic book girl coming into the fold. She's going on the next ride, right? Or something. Well, I would have to think that if they do another ride, that, you know what I mean, they would have to do that if he brings the mom with him. And I don't think they would leave her by herself there. So I would think that the story that she's telling right there is the story that we get from this show. And she has the person going from a car to car, hopping from planet to planet, you know, fixing people's telescopes. So I think we can look at that and see this is what we're going to see here. There's something going on in outer space, going from planet to planet. And I think that is what basically this show is about, with them in the car as the girl, instead of the girl. It's something to do like that, I would say. But yeah, it's always good when you see black people looking like themselves. You know what I mean? Because when you have black people looking like themselves, because black is beautiful, you have to. Look at me, I have African features. You know, I may be light skinned, but I have African features. I have a big ass nose that I got teased about. I got big lips. You know what I mean? I got African features. So you know what I mean? I like seeing people who have features like me. You know, I'm lighter skinned, brother. You know what I mean? I still look black. You know what I mean? And that's why I just see. A lot of times they cast people like I love the actress who played Missandei in Game of Thrones. But if you compare her to what Missandei looks like in the book, she doesn't look like that. You know what I mean? They casted a truly, truly beautiful black woman in that role, and I understand why they did it. But you know, black features are beautiful. You know what I mean? And blackness is beautiful. So I just think that I like the way they casted these people and everything else. I like the way they do it. You know what I mean? And if anyone's thinking like that light-skinned chick and they're like, oh, she's got a really dark brother and a really dark sister, and how is that possible? Listen, that's what it is in blackness. All right, we come in all shades. You could be a light-skinned dude and have a dark-skinned brother and a lighter-skinned brother, and that's what makes us who we are, and that's what it goes. You know what I mean? That's the way stuff be with us. That's the way blackness rolls. You know, I'm the darkest person in my family. All my brothers and sisters are red bones. My sister's got green eyes. My brother's got green eyes. They're all red bones, and I'm the darkest person in my family, and that's just what it is. You know what I mean? So that's just the way it is when you're in a black family. I have many cousins that have dark-skinned brothers and light-skinned sisters, or vice versa. That's what it is. That's the thing about being black in this country, and what happened to us in this country to change our pigmentation. And that's why we get different shades of us popping out all the time. That's just the way it goes, man. You know, that's just what it be. And that's just what it is. So yeah, all right, we've been here. I told you we do that and everything else. Chrissy Olson, let me see. He says, I was a little thrown off by that. I thought maybe they were half siblings, but that's why she had Misha. No, I don't. It's not told that they're half siblings or anything like that. But no, you don't have to be half siblings. You can do full-blooded siblings, and you come out different shades when you're black, and that's it. And that all goes back to what happened to our people from when we got here. And I will just say, you know what I mean, that all black people in America have some white in them. from somewhere. You know what I mean? From slave times. There's no doubt about it. There's some European and all Black Americans that are in this country, and it shows in certain times. It shows, and certain times it doesn't, and that's just the way it goes, and that's just what it is, man. We just saying. Muhammad says, I love big booties. Just saying, so do I, brother. So do I. And on that note, we're going to end this. So if you like the way I do this, please thumbs up this. Please spread this across the realm. And please subscribe. And until next time, next week, we will be back with the pregame show 1 hour before. And again, at the end. And we'll have guests with us next time so that way we can get more into it. All right. And until next time. So make sure you're subscribed if you're your first time here. Subscribe and click the bell. It's very important to click the bell so you know that you can come back up in here. We can do this again. And the more people we get in here, the more thumbs up we get, and the more people we get up in here, then that's how we're going to keep growing. The audience is going to grow. And until next time, you know who it is. Peace and stay sexy.